People often perceive the gut as a place where food passes through and have no idea about the incredible things happening in the gut, which is essentially where immunity is born. The gut is an entire organism that houses around 100 trillion bacteria that form our intestinal microflora. In this video, you will learn about harmful habits that destroy the gut. Watch the video until the end, and I will give you 3 tips to help save your gut. 90% of all bacteria in our gut belong to 2 groups. The first group is called firmicutes. The second group is bacteroidetes. People who predominantly have firmicutes tend to be obese, and people who predominantly have bacteroidetes tend to have chronic inflammatory processes in the gut. In a healthy person, the ratio of the 2 groups of bacteria is roughly equal, and this is very important for our health. The role of bacterial microflora in our gut is not only in digesting food and regulating weight, but also in the gut. Many beneficial substances and hormones are produced. For example, the hormone serotonin is mainly produced in the gut and accumulates in the brain. So, here are 10 harmful habits. First, frequent consumption of processed meat, sausages, hot dogs, sausages. They should be completely eliminated from your diet. Processed meat contains a large amount of nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are poison for our gut and our good bacteria. If you really love processed meat, you can make it at home. The second habit, frequent consumption of fried meat and fried foods in oil. Here, it's important to emphasize well-cooked foods with crusts and charred bits. These crusts and charred bits, when we fry foods, are very harmful substances for our gut, and generally, fried foods are hard to digest. If you love fried foods, cook them in clarified butter. Clarified butter withstands high temperatures without releasing harmful substances. No foam or smoke forms. The third habit, insufficient intake of fiber. These are rough plant fibers. They are found in all plant-based products. The highest amount of fiber is found in brown rice, wheat, peas, beans, almonds, olives, oats, barley, green peas, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, asparagus, carrots. The fourth habit is the consumption of strong alcoholic beverages, specifically strong ones. Strong alcoholic drinks irritate the intestinal mucosa, thereby harming gut function. If you consume strong alcoholic beverages, they need to be consumed in smaller quantities. Irregular eating, that is, eating at irregular times. I already anticipate comments like, "I eat whenever I want, my grandmother, my parents ate the same way and lived long lives." But understand that habits are formed from numerous small habits. If you have only one bad habit, it may not affect your health. But more often than not, we have many such habits. I always say that from the perspective of Tibetan medicine, it's not what we eat that matters, but when we eat. Now I want to explain why this is so important. For example, from the perspective of Tibetan medicine, morning is considered the time of wind. During this time, you can eat various foods, even those you like. These are sweets, gluten, baked goods, etc. Lunch is bile time, when you should eat heavy-to-digest foods like meat, fish, animal proteins, etc. This is bile time. And dinner is mucus time. From the perspective of Tibetan medicine, everything we eat after 6 or 7 o'clock starts accumulating in our body because mucus is a nutrient medium. These foods do not fully burn off by the end of the day, and it's very important to eat on schedule because our body follows a circadian rhythm, i.e., a biological rhythm. If we disrupt these settings because we don't want to or find it inconvenient, they may manifest their results in a few years. Sixth, insufficient intake of fermented dairy and dairy products, as well as naturally fermented products like sauerkraut, salted tomatoes, cucumbers, and pickled apples. These products are a source of good bacteria. By consuming them, We help seed beneficial bacteria in the gut. From the perspective of Tibetan medicine, I always say that fermented dairy products are mucus-forming, so they should be consumed in moderation. And if you consume them before 5 p.m., everything will be fine. Frequent consumption of trans fats and fast food. Trans fats are poison for our body, especially for our good bacteria. Therefore, these products should absolutely not be consumed. I cannot even give you one reason why you should eat this. And this food is considered empty. It gives us neither energy nor anything else. In general, friends, as you understand, nutrition is very important for our gut and overall for our health. That's exactly why I created a health practice where I talk about the rules of proper nutrition from the perspective of Tibetan medicine, and they are very important depending on a person's constitution. Because it's important to emphasize that each person should seek out the specific products, the rule that suits them personally. You can find this online course via the link in the description. Insufficient water intake. You all know that you need to drink water, but there is one explanation specifically related to the gut. When we eat, for example, fiber to improve gut function, we must keep in mind that fiber can be soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber, also known as gel-forming fiber or bulking fiber, needs water. When we drink water, this fiber swells, creates volume, and performs its function. Improves gut function. It's best to drink warm water at about 50 to 60 degrees Celsius before meals 2 to 3 minutes prior and throughout the day. About 1.5 liters of water, but no more than 2 liters. Constant stress causes systemic chronic inflammatory processes in the gut, which constantly negatively affect the intestinal mucosa. And chronically slow-moving inflammatory processes destroy these villi, thereby reducing the absorption area in the gut. The fewer villi, the less absorption area. This is why many people develop sensitivity to gluten. I have a video on gluten. You can watch it on my channel. Paranoid cleanliness, that is, disinfecting everything, cleaning everything, washing everything. When we create ideal cleanliness, it's also very bad for our gut. As I already said, about 100 trillion bacteria live in our gut, of which, of course, some percentage are conditionally pathogenic and pathogenic bacteria. Not all bacteria are good. We just need to maintain balance. But if we sterilize and clean everything all the time, we thereby do not train our gut's natural immunity, and upon encountering any bacteria, we immediately get sick. 3 tips that will help you save your gut. First, start your day with a glass of warm water in the morning. A glass of warm water helps activate the entire digestive tract, starting from the stomach to the gut. Second tip. From time to time, use probiotics. When choosing probiotics, you must definitely check what predominates. Firmicutes or bacteroidetes. You can take a test and determine all this. But if you want to do this just preventively, choose those probiotics where these ratios are equal. Third tip. Please review the 10 harmful habits I've already told you about. Study them carefully and try not to do these things if possible.